Okay, Uchimata means what?
Inner thigh?
Inner thigh throw. It's a leg throw, right? Okay. I'm going to show this throw right-handed first. Okay, this is a good throw. Very versatile. You can do when your opponent's going in a circle, when they're going backwards, when they're going forwards. It's probably the most popular throw in Shiai. Okay, so most important thing, one of the most important things is you got to get good kazushi. This hand's got to be high, okay, and this right hand, tsuri-ten, okay, you need to pull this with you. All right, see what my right arm is doing here? Okay, it's against his rib cage and lifting. All right, this hand should be high, so your kazushi needs to be here. Okay? Right here. Now, when I come in, where should my plant foot be? If I'm doing a right Uchimata, where should my left foot be? Where, Paul?
Behind your right foot.
Where should it be, Travis? Right. If their feet is about shoulder width apart, try and imagine their feet shoulder width apart, and their feet is going to be the base of an equilateral triangle. Okay? The plant foot, general rule of thumb, should be at the top of that equilateral triangle. A lot of people have a tendency to go in too deep. And when you go in too deep, here, the problem is the only way that you can throw it if you go in too deep is you're going to end up doing a head dive. The only way that you can carry out the throw when you're too deep is your head's going to come down. And you have to go straight down to do the throw, which can be very dangerous. So, general rule of thumb, the top of the triangle. Okay, that's where this foot should be. My hip, okay, right here, there's a neat little pocket right here that my hip can go into. It's not a hip throw, so I don't have to come all the way around, but here, right here, okay? That's where it should be. Check and adjust. My foot should not be too deep. I don't want to be in here. All right? So again, I pull here. Now the throwing motion, okay, leg just goes straight through. The leg is for momentum purposes. Ideally, it'll probably brush the inside of his thigh. Uchimata means inner thigh, so I'm going to hit the inner thigh. If I hit nothing, that's a good thing too. All right? If I hit this leg first, in a classic Uchimata, that means my plant foot is probably a little bit too far outside. So it should be in the middle or a little bit to the left if I'm doing a right-handed Uchimata. So, and then make sure that you don't let this hand fall behind the right hand. Remember the thumb to your ear, right? So here, okay. Here, right here, and then, okay. Now the throwing motion is what? What, baby? Judo roll. Okay? Zenpo Kaiken. It's a right judo roll. That's the reason why you have to do the judo roll. When I throw, it's this motion here. And if I can't come up with my feet square when I do Zenpo Kaiken, guess what? I'm going to have a tough time doing Uchimata or any forward throw. It's important that you keep your hips in line, just like you do a right judo roll, the throwing motion. A lot of people do a judo roll, do this, right? And you guys end up going this way. Well, if you do that when you do a throw, opponent's going to slide off, and your direction of your throw is going to be off. Okay? So again, I pull, bring this right hand to your ear, hit right in this pocket here, feet right about the top of that equilateral triangle, straight through, and the throwing motion, bring this shoulder as if you're doing a judo roll. Here, here. Okay? Make sure both hands are working together. At the top of your kazushi, check your alignment. Again, if the thumbs are out, even if you take a high collar grip here, thumbs out, okay, at the top of your pull, you should be in a line. If your hands are doing this, they're not working together. So here, okay? Any questions? Yeah.
Is this a good throw to get a high collar grip if you can, or?
A lot of people throw it with a high collar grip, which is, you know, I mean, I have strong feelings about a high collar grip. The only reason is because if you have a high collar grip here, okay, the tendency is to do this with a high collar grip. My thumb's down, okay? Now, if I'm going to have a high collar grip, if you look at players that use a high collar grip that are good, they're here. Now, you have to have pretty good hand strength to do this. So from here, I still need to be here. With a high collar grip, the tendency is to do this and the elbow comes up. Now the hands are not working together. So if you're going to do a high collar grip, it's more difficult to keep the elbow down and the hand in the proper position. And you have to have a stronger hand. Especially some of these guys wear these thick gis here. And to manipulate your hand in the proper position requires tremendous hand strength. And the high collar grip, the lapel is easier.
Is there a benefit to the high collar grip if you can do that?
I don't see it. The only benefit is that if you're much taller than your opponent, okay, it's easier to control it. You can keep your opponent down and control them this way. But generally speaking, there's no advantage. There's a lot of disadvantages. If I do this, okay, my opponent knows which direction I'm going to go. I can't do a left-handed throw from here. But from here, I can easily do a left-handed throw. So, I like opponents that do a high collar grip on me. Because if I have an opponent that takes this grip way up here, okay, one, I can go inside and lower my center of gravity. His center of gravity is higher. Two, do I have to worry about him going this way? No. He's only going to go this way. Yes?
You think if you did this right, you could get a good arm bar?
Arm bar. Well, that just depends on how he ends up on the ground. But. All right. So you lefty, same thing. Okay. Make sure it's a high pull here. Both hands work together here. Okay. Now for the pull. Hip in. All right.